Hello, today we are going to share on the 25th Sunday, 24th of September, and the gospel main point today would be the last will be first and the first last. I'll explain this a little bit more later on. And the first reading is Isaiah chapter 55. Seek the Lord while he may be found, call him while he is near. Let the scoundrel forsake his way, and the wicked his thoughts. Let him turn to the Lord for mercy, to our God who is generous in forgiving. So here Isaiah was telling the people to seek the Lord while he may be found. And if you feel that he is near, then you should also call him. But if the scoundrel forsake his way and the wicked his thoughts, so the scoundrel has to forsake his habits and way, and the wicked must forsake his thoughts, his wicked thoughts, and turn to the Lord for mercy, to our God who is generous in forgiving. So he was emphasizing the Lord and his mercy, and the God generous and forgiving. So we have to always turn to God. And here he continues, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, say the Lord. As high as the heavens are above the earth, so high are my ways above your ways, and my thoughts above your thoughts. So here God was emphasizing that his thoughts are different from ours, and his ways are also different from ours. In what way? Because God is above us, and his thoughts and his ways would be above our thoughts and ways. So, and here he says, as high as the heavens are above the earth, so high are my ways above your ways, and my thoughts above your thoughts. So the difference would be in a big difference, a big distance, as the earth and heaven is difference in distance. So God's ways are high above our ways, and God's thoughts are above our thoughts, like that. Then the second reading would talk about Christ will be magnified in my body. This would be Paul, St. Paul. Whether by life or by death, for to me life is Christ and death is gain. If I go on living in the flesh, that means fruitful labor for me, and I do not know which I shall choose. So St. Paul was talking about Christ magnified in his body, and whether by life or by death. For life would be Christ and death gain. That means that separate from life on earth and in heaven, that would be in Christ. And death, Christ would be the life, And death is gain. That means if he is separate from the earth, from his body, if he goes on living in the flesh, that means fruitful labor for me. If he continued to live on earth, then he would be fruitful also. And St. Paul did not know what to choose, which of the two to choose. I am caught between the two. I long to depart this life and be with Christ. That means one choice. For that is far better. Yet that I remain in the flesh is more necessary for your benefit. That means if St. Paul dies, he would be with Christ, and he would feel that this would be better for him. But if he continues to live in his body on earth, then it would be beneficial for the community, because he would be able to share with them. And then he called the people, the community, to conduct themselves in a way worthy of the gospel of Christ. So St. Paul was calling the community to live according to Christ's gospel. But he was also hinting that if he lives on earth and he helps the community, he would have to conduct his life according to the gospel of Christ. So St. Paul, the sharing. Now we come to the gospel. Jesus told his disciples this parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out at dawn to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with them for the usual daily wage, he sent them to his vineyard. Then he went out several times more to hire more people. And he going out about 9 o'clock, the landowner saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and he said to them, "You go into my vineyard, and I will give you what is just." So they went off, and he went out again around noon and around 3 o'clock and did the same thing. So the landowner was hiring people in this way. Then he going out at 5 o'clock. The landowner found others standing around and said to them, "Why do you stand here idle all day?" They answered, "Because no one has hired us." He said to them, "You too go to my vineyard." So he hired the last group to go to work in his vineyard. And when it was evening, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, "Summon the laborers and give them their pay, beginning with the last and ending with the first." When those who had started about 5 o'clock came, each received the usual daily wage. Okay, this would be the basic wage, most probably. So when the first came, they thought they would receive more, but each of them also got the usual wage. And on receiving it, they grumbled against the landowner, saying, "These last ones worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who bore the day's burden and the heat." So those who came first worked a lot, but got the same pay. And they said, they felt it was not fair, so they grumbled. And the landowner said, "Are you envious because I am generous? Thus the last will be first, and the first will be last." And so he said, he was explaining that he gave them the just wage, but he was generous in giving the others the same just wage, a basic wage, most probably. And then he said, the last will be first, and the first will be last. And this is how to explain this. To explain this, we must talk about God being fair to all of us. And sometimes those who are more pious and fervent would feel that they should get more than those who are not so fervent and not so pious. Just like the Jews would look down on the Gentiles and thought they would be prior to the Gentiles. But they look, by thinking that they look down on the Gentiles. So also sometimes when we are more pious, we might look down on those who are not so pious and think we will be rewarded more than the others. So Christ, and so here the gospel would be breaking through this and say, don't think about first and last, because the last can be the first and the first can be last. But the main thing would be God would care for all of us, and we will be rewarded with heaven for all of us that are good. So the last will be first and the first last. This would be today's reading. Then we, on the 17th, we shared on the Chinese colloquial Lord's Prayer, the modern Lord's Prayer, that we have been using in Hong Kong for 55 years. But we feel that this colloquial modern Chinese version needs to be corrected, improved. And so we look at the Lord's Prayer, the colloquial one, the Lord's Prayer from the angle of the Bible and our faith. And we started with God is love, and that God is love is basic and the point of departure for the Lord's Prayer. The one who does not love does not know God, for God is love. That would be the first letter of John, chapter 4. You should read this a bit more and know how it, know more in detail how it speaks. And from that we went on to look at the colloquial Chinese modern version. And it said God's name would be widespread. We should not use widespread, but we should use widespread or propagated. We should use may your name be holy. Use holy, because holy is divine, belonging to God, but this one is a bit not in the same category. So we should turn back to using holy. And another point we should emphasize would be, may your will be done on earth. But the colloquial one, which on earth would be diversity in unity. But the colloquial one said, your will be done among humans. That is narrowing the scope of the Lord's Prayer here, and God's will. So we turn back to, may your will be done on earth. And we want to use back this. So the 2 points to be corrected. And this would emphasize anthropocentrism. So in God's love, we need to learn to love God, love humans, and love the earth. We must emphasize loving the earth, because we need to love the earth. Not only love God and humans, but also the whole creation, God's whole creation. And so we see the Lord's Prayer in its wholefulness. The first part of the Lord's Prayer would be about God, the earth, and humans. And the second part of the Lord's Prayer would be about our body, mind, and spirit. So here we should love God, love humans, and love the earth. That would be more holistic, and we must think about God is love, and God as a Trinitarian God. This would be important indication or thinking. So we share on the 17th we talk about this, and we also say that will be done on earth. We also must not cut down trees, and we must use bamboo more instead of wood for toilet paper and napkins. So here 7 million people use toilet paper and napkins, and each year there would be a need to cut down 500,000 trees, and so and we need. But if we turn to using bamboo more, and this is very high quality bamboo, and we can protect the forest. So here we have started promoting use bamboos instead of wood, instead of ordinary paper, and so to save the environment. So we have participated in Laudate Si action platform, and we have registered with them and this. So we are promoting this, and we hope more of you would start using this. And if you want to inquire about this more, you can phone our center or Miss Catherine Hong or Tin Pui, So Tin Pui, and we can also phone 2423-9423. Correct? Okay. So and we can. So hopefully you will help us to promote this. And if you can, we will have a special prize for you. But you get an even better prize if you work with the parish and through the parish to order. And you can inquire with Catherine and Tin Pui at our center. Okay, God bless.